Hello folks, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing fine myself, and I thought I'd share you guys something very interesting I just recently came across, and that's Cade Cunningham and how he's developed and how a certain Pistons legend got into his life and indirectly influenced him. Now obviously the clickbait, I know it's not directly influenced, but it's not like he didn't know who the guy was before he got drafted, right? He was familiar with him indirectly, right? So there's something about the guy, Cade Cunningham. You could just see it when he plays with the Pistons. Like recently, I just watched him play against the Pacers. They won that game, and one thing that was apparent throughout the game was that him with the ball, him at the point guard, good things happen. And you can't really say the same thing about Killian Hayes, and I know many people have written his career off. I haven't. I still believe in him. But honestly, it is true. Cade Cunningham is the one that you want to be at the point guard position, and for good reasons. He's the number one pick, and there's a lot of hopes and expectations that come with being the number one pick. And part of the reason why he's been a very good point guard up to this stage, two parts. First part here being his early childhood. He was raised under the tutelage of a promising quarterback prospect in his own right. Unfortunately, he did end up getting injured in a freak accident that derailed his career to where he really didn't play in the NFL at all. But fortunately, it led to his child, Cade Cunningham, playing quarterback for a long time in his early childhood into his middle school, to the point where he was actually not bad at it. But it was to the point as well where in Arlington, Texas, the summers would be very hot, and he would want to go indoors where the air conditioner was at, playing basketball. And so at some point the switch had to be made. He was also growing very tall, so things really did begin to fall in line, and that would be a theme in his development early in his career. Now into the second part. He had an older brother named Kanan, and he was playing basketball in college at SMU in 2011. He started playing there. Into his freshman year, he wanted to transfer, and his parents convinced him not to, and that ended up being one of the best decisions they made, because the following year, Larry Brown, yes, the Larry Brown, who is the only coach to have ever won both an NCAA title and an NBA championship, and that one championship being with the Detroit Pistons. Okay, you have him coaching Cade Cunningham. His philosophy at this late stage in his coaching career was to get players to be as well-rounded as possible, meaning that on both ends, he wanted players to play multiple positions where they could pass, shoot, and also defend guys that are much bigger than them and much smaller than them, to where they could use their wingspan and their lateral movement to take advantage of those matchups that they got. And it was an approach that Kanan liked a lot. As a matter of fact, even Larry Brown himself noticed that Cade himself, even though he was a 6'10" big man, he also played much smaller than he was. And it's quite interesting that Cade took all that knowledge that he got from Larry Brown and realized that he had to transfer all of that into Cade Cunningham so that he could develop into an elite player that could play the same way that Larry Brown wanted his players to play. He got Cade to focus on his dribbling, his ball handling. A lot of people were skeptical as to whether or not he could even play the point guard position because of that. And you had him focusing on his shooting as well, making sure that he shot the three-pointer at a high efficient rate, getting him used to the three-point line, even into his college years. You had him and his cousin, Ashton Bennings, who was a trainer, getting him going with these drills. And it was basic drills like him running on the beach, focusing on his foot speed, and then you had him constantly repeating this pick and roll drill that was so etched into his brain that he got so sick of it, man. There were heated moments, definitely, when you're with close family and obviously you shared bedrooms with them, you shared breakfast and dinners with them. Obviously you're gonna get some heated moments, and like everybody else, they went through the pandemic, and they went through it late into Cade's senior year and into his college year, where they had to go through a lot of these workouts, isolated from everybody else. And fortunately for him, he had his cousin, he had his brother with him, so he didn't need to, go anywhere else. And at that point, they had to hone in on the basics. They had to get things going. And a lot of that character building was also thanks to their parents. They had to look at their parents waking up early, going to work, coming in at night, and still being able to provide food on the table. That sort of stuff leaves a mark on you. It gets you going, and you begin to realize life is much bigger than the things you're doing day to day. And a year earlier, his brother Kanan was hired to be an assistant coach at Oklahoma State. Guess who followed suit to play for that same university? Well, seeing that his brother was there, seeing that it was just 4 hours away from his family in Texas, you can begin to see the real story of this video, which is that his family was the center of his development. They were the ones that helped shape the trajectory of Cade Cunningham's early development and that are also remaining on his side. His brother, a week after Cade declared for the draft, he resigned as assistant coach of Oklahoma State to help manage Cade's career. That's how you know, man, this bond they have, this relationship they have, it's not just basketball, but it's bigger than basketball. It's something that's gotten them this far and something that they're gonna keep going, and hopefully a lot of it will succeed. And another thing that I didn't highlight that I think is worth highlighting at this late portion of the video is he has a 2-year-old daughter, right? And so that means that during his teenage years he had a baby, and you can imagine how much character that builds, how much that motivated him, because at that point it wasn't just about him. It was about putting food on that child's table. It was getting that child now to be raised under a stable house, right? You have to think about that as well when you go look at his college career, because he was raising a daughter when he was in college. And it just goes to show you how family is so important to him and how it's helped him shape what is a promising career. So usually I would end the video there, but I just want to say, if you really enjoyed the video, if you liked the video, it would mean the world to me if you subscribe, because it would show me that this type of video really resonates with people, and I certainly hope it does, because I put a lot of work into this and I actually want to do this type of content moving forward. So if you like it, subscribe. You already know. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to doing more of this, and have a great rest of your day or night, whatever time zone you're in. Just have a great time. Peace out.